Welcome back to season 6, episode 21 of the Will Reads. I have Ian with me right now. Chris is running a little bit late, but he will be joining the stream momentarily.
Well, he's not running.
No, he's not running. No, he hurt his knee, so he's at the doctor. He's driving back. He's going to jump
He's
off
hobbling late.
in just a second. Yeah, he's hobbling over a little bit late, but yeah, we'll get him over in the stream in a little bit whenever he hobbles to the computer. He says I don't know what happened. He said he fell on some stairs. I don't know. He's married now, so I just always a little sus.
Yeah, I could have said the wrong thing. I don't know.
I don't know. But we do have some new patrons, at least one new patron. So High Mileage Hole. Thank you for your patronage and thank you and welcome. And I might be announcing this one.
Are we gonna discuss that? Or are we just gonna let that go? What's the handle name? What's the handle name again?
High Mileage Hole.
I'm trying to turn a new leaf and be a better man. I love that name.
You know, we got a negative review recently for being crude, so we know.
Right. That's why I stopped myself. I was like, maybe that person is listening, and I'm just gonna say thank you. Well, thank you anyways. Yeah. Okay. You saved me.
Thank you. Yeah. There you go.
One G word, and we'll move on.
And it's been so long since last time recorded. I don't remember if I announced it Bedomon as a new Patreon, but if you got a second shout out, yay. You're a patron too. So I might have already said that last episode. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks. I was doing the math and I was like, he joined before, but did I remember last time? I don't know. Well,
thank you again. Or for the first time.
Yeah. Or for the first time. Or the second time. Yeah. So, other things going on. Yeah. So, got a couple announcements. On Saturday, we have the Twitter of Time Awards. So, I am super excited about that, and also running around with a chicken with a head cut off right now because it's last minute scramble to get everything ready. Been downloading content that we can put onto the stream and all sorts of other stuff, and getting everybody together and getting all the roles and yada, yada, yada. A lot of busy work. But Saturday, 8 o'clock, the red carpet starts. The actual show will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So make sure to come check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of good presenters, a lot of great nominees. So going to be a good time. So
I can't wait.
You can come for the First Time Reader Award. I'll DM you.
Yeah.
Because the music video for that one is non-spoilery, so the first-time readers could remove the spoiler tag and they can watch that part.
I get to be a part of it. I'm so excited.
Part of it, yeah. So
okay,
yeah. I'm not sure what time. I'll find the timestamp. I'll let you know.
I will be available. I will be waiting ready.
And as you guys might have seen, in October we didn't do a Wad of Fortune, and that was because I was getting ready for Twitter time. Also, I was on vacation a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on. Jake, who helps me run it, also was out a lot on a weekend, so it was just a lot in October. So we said, take the month off, but come back November 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or actually at that point it's Eastern Standard Time. It switches on the 3rd. So November 3rd, remember to set your calendars, our clocks, change them if you're in America. But yeah, so on November 19th on Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m., we're going to have 3 contestants on, and it's going to be the Wad of Fortune to end all Wad of Fortune. So we have Erratopedia from What Spoilers, Morgan from Podcast of the Dragon, and Ariel Sadai or Pavara from TikTok and a bunch of other stuff. And they are all super experts, like scary trivia and Wheel of Time experts. So we're going to have people on that can just like look at the amount of letters and guess without even a letter being on there yet. So
that'll be great.
It's going to be fun.
do you give bonus points for that?
I don't,
a letter they guess.
I don't know, but we should. I
don't know.
I don't think so, but yeah. So those are the big things coming up. Also, thank you to Kevin Kalusa. He edited his pledge up as well. So yay. Upgrades. Patron. Want to get that shout as well. So you can tell how prepared I am. I've been literally going 1,000 miles an hour trying to get all this stuff ready. So yay. So personal life. Yeah, I've been just doing that for the most part. Went on vacation for a little bit to the beach, but I think I recorded last time from the beach, so that was great. Been back now trying to get my life in order. Went to Chris's wedding, which we have not talked about, and I'm going to hold off on talking more about it till Chris gets here. But it was a fantastic time. Like, I mean, it was just absolutely amazing. So, yeah. Congratulations to Chris and Chanel. Mostly to Chris, because he's definitely won. Chanel, I think, lost on that deal, but we still love Chris.
Chris won big time, and yeah, I love Chris to death. I'm sure we'll talk about it more when Chris gets here, but that's all I, man, just really want to talk about. Before the show, I was telling Alan, we've both been to so many weddings, and yeah, usually they're great, festive time, but I've been to a few where there's moments that just feel cheesy, or you kind of roll your eyes a little bit, and you're like, yeah, and like, let's hurry up and get to the reception. But everything about Chris's wedding just felt genuine. It wasn't too big, but it wasn't too small. There was a lot of love there. Yeah. Everything about it was fantastic. I loved being there, and loved it for Kristen, Chanel, and yeah. Normally when I see a guy that's marrying into a family that, there's a lot of sisters, no brothers in the sibling mix that he's marrying into. I wouldn't say I worry about that for them, but it's kind of like, I hope you know what you're getting into sort of thing. But I had a chance to speak to all of her siblings and her dad, and just great people.
Mm-hmm. They really
are. Anyways, super happy for him. So, and I shouldn't have expected anything less. Chris is a genuine dude, and yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I got a chance to go out drinking the night before, which was fun.
Yeah.
Besides we wandered around the projects of Charlotte.
He's like, yeah, let me show you this old place I used to love to go to. And we get there and it's like locked up with bars on the windows and stuff. He's like, oh, I guess it's closed.
It's been years since I've been to Charlotte. All right. I was like, I know this cool bar. And we went there. And yeah, it was definitely
so perfect.
So then we ended up going to this hole in the wall, like right around the corner. That was not any better. But it had what, like $3 Joe shots or something like that.
Yeah. Cheap specials. So yeah. I got, and we were Ubering. So I got for schnickered.
Yeah.
And there was one other small group that came in, like a group of coaches from a local high school football team, like celebrating their season. And one of them, he's got his first baby on the way, and just started talking up with them and doing shots with those folks. And
yeah,
I think we made a great time of it.
We did.
I had a blast.
We did. We had a good time. It was a lot.
Never a dull moment.
Anything new in your world, Ian? Anything going on? Anything exciting? Are you in the barracks?
I am in the barracks. I'll be quick about it. This is the barracks. This should be the very last week. I'm scheduled to get my DD 214 on Thursday. Those of you in the service or prior service know that is at least that day is a day of celebration. And then depending on, where you're at in life, you might mourn it later, but I'm very excited to get it and go home. I also got very lucky in the timing of my VA disability stuff. I won't go way down the rabbit hole, but technically the program I'm in, you're not supposed to even start doing that until afterwards. But once they decided they weren't med boarding me, I was like, well, let me call the VA direct to make sure I can. Anyways, got all that stuff in and got very lucky with great doctors right off the bat. Turns out I didn't have to get a bazillion letters written from people because I had awards in the past that I saved the write-ups for. And apparently there's certain things that if you do or see or part of or whatever, like it just kind of gives you automatic percentages, or at least makes it easier for them to, document that. So anyways, that went really great. So there won't be a lapse. I'll get off of my active duty orders. I'm probably gonna have to start working part-time when I go back to my actual job. So the VA portion is actually kind of crucial for me to not take a giant financial hit right now. So, I mean, things are falling into place.
Okay.
God is good.
There you go. So when's your last date, you said?
Thursday, I get the 214. They say Friday's a travel day, but as soon as I get that piece of paper in my hand, I'm on the road and coming home.
I'm out.
And when they text me Friday morning, like, why are you not at formation? I'm going to send them a screenshot of my 214, my release from active duty. Probably that'll be it, but there might be other gifts involved.
It's like I was a bartender / waiter at a local restaurant. Ian knows this. The day I gave it 2 weeks, which is unheard of in the restaurant industry. But my last day, I clocked out of my shift and didn't do any of my side work, like sweeping or anything like that. I just clocked out, turned around, went to the bar, sat down, ordered a drink, and like the new shift came in. They're like, Alan, are you going to sweep? And I was like, excuse you? Like, I am a customer here. Like,
Yeah.
I do not
How
work
dare
here.
you?
I do not work here.
Yeah.
Kind of asshole, but at the same time, we were all close enough friends that it was just funny. But
Yeah. And I'm excited on the reserve side to get back to my unit. A handful of these guys are, some that I won't say deployed, mobilized with to Wisconsin for the Afghan refugee mission, and really love some of those guys. Been working with them for a while, so kind of excited to get back to see them as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot. I did go sailing last week too, for the first time in forever. So that was fun. We
That's
got
big.
we got some of my old crew together. Actually, the old owner that I sailed with for literally years decided that he's very old now, and he felt able enough physically
Yeah.
to get on a boat with him and his wife. So they came out, and we got some of the old crew that hadn't come out in years to do a little sailboat race. So it was good just catching up with all those folks that I hadn't seen in a very long time and actually get on the water. I told them that if they ever want to get together again and do this, it gets me a free sailing pass, because my wife's like, "Oh, Gene's coming. Yeah, go ahead." I'm like, Gene, go sailing all the time now.
Right. Yeah. Sit on the back of the boat and we'll buy you drinks.
Yeah,
No,
I'll buy you all the drinks in the world. Yeah,
I saw
please.
his wife posted some pictures and I was extremely happy about that. Alan had done some big boat sailing before, and I did a little bit also, but not that much. Gene and his wife on their boat, that was the first time I did like what I would call real racing on a big boat. And fantastic man. And him and his wife had some health issues along the way. They're getting older, and seeing them back out of the water, I wish I was there. I hope you gave him a big hug.
I think Gene's
Sure
in his
they
late
went from-
70s, early 80s now. He's
Yeah.
he's getting up there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Good dude.
anyway, good guy, very good guy. So I was gonna stall some more to wait for Chris, but I don't know if he's going to show up or not anytime soon. So we'll see. Do you want to just get right into it and we can go back to personal life? Or
I
do you
have
more?
I have one other filler item.
Okay.
So both my younger two kids, River and Ronan, they've expressed interest in getting into music in some way, whether it's vocal lessons, piano, guitar, drums, whatever. So I have kind of limited time with them, not being the primary physical custodian. And Thursdays is the only day I have every single week, no matter what. I've always got them Thursdays. So I was like, all right, let me find somewhere where we could do lessons one-on-one. Hopefully somebody could come into the house, because we have a bunch of instruments where we're at. But I found in Richmond, they have what's called School of Rock. And I don't know if they have these in other cities, but it is fantastic. You go, and once a week you get a one-on-one lesson. But then at another time, once a week, you get together for a couple hours of kids around the same age, around the same skill level. And you have an instructor that teaches you a few rock songs, and you learn them in order to go perform them. And in a couple of months, their next performance is at Hardywood Brewery in Richmond.
Oh, cool.
Which, Alan, you're going to get an invite,
Yeah.
Alan. It's going to be awesome. So
that's awesome.
Ronan's playing electric guitar, and he already knows a few chords and sounds pretty good after one lesson. And
Okay.
River's playing the drums, and I am just tickled. They were like, oh, music lessons, it's gonna be like at school, so boring. But they show up, and their instructors are really nice guys, but they got the rock look, tatted up, funky hairstyle, nose ring, this, that, and the other. It's like, River, bro, you want to play some drums? Snarly, let's go. And just start wailing on them. And yeah, it was great.
Since we're talking about kids, my 4-year-old son, I promised my wife I wouldn't tell the story, but hopefully she's not outside. She'll come busting through this door and get mad at me. He started playing soccer. He started playing soccer. So he had a second soccer game, and felt so bad for him because, 4-year-old soccer, it's not the best skilled soccer. It's chaos. Yeah, utterly chaos. So he's playing defense, which is, yeah, whatever.
It's like playing right field in t-ball. You're picking daisies.
Half the game, he has his hands in his pocket, just kind of staring up into space. Like, I pay attention. Finally, the ball gets close to him. Like, we yell from like, Asher, the ball, go kick it. And like, he jumps into action, sees the ball, turns around, sees the net, kicks as hard as he can right into his own net, and scores a goal on himself, on his own team. And he turns back, I made a goal. I did a goal. And like the whole sidelines, just all the parents are like, oh, geez. Good job, kid. Good job.
But that's the fun part about the 4-year-old soccer, man. You got to love that.
He's like, I made a goal. I was like, yeah, I did. It was endearing. But at the same time, we're like, wrong one. That's the wrong one. Anyway, love. We'll probably have to tell him about that when he gets older and like, yeah, your first ever soccer goal.
That's perfect. I hope you got it on video. Yeah,
Yeah,
share it with him later. He'll enjoy
exactly. Yeah. What? Speaking, that'll be a good wedding video. Speaking of weddings, Chris, how's your knee?
I am about to put this on right now.
Oh, fun.
Oh, like all the things that can happen do happen. So
Such is life.
We got these amazing gifts given to us for the wedding, which, by the way, I'm a week in, y'all. A week and a half in.
There you go.
Oh man.
But we get these amazing gifts, one of which was a fire pit. Well, we got 2 fire pits actually, but one of them was small enough to where I was like, we could probably sneak this in the apartment and nobody would really care. And so it's like 60 pounds, and I'm carrying it up 3 flights of stairs, and I missed a step, and yep.
Oh, it's on the way up. So you just drove that knee right into the next step.
I missed steps entirely, so I kind of fell and then like caught myself single leg support, and so you're thinking like 440 pounds coming down on one leg.
No.
And
bro, my knee would be shattered.
and then that my feet don't fit on the stairs because the stairs aren't big enough, so
yeah,
there's that added level. So I strained muscles, ligaments and such, because I couldn't even get my entire foot on the stair to catch myself. So always fun.
Well, I'm sorry, man.
Well, on a more lighter note, we did personal life. We talked a little bit about your wedding, but we're gonna wait for you to really talk more about it. So yeah.
So thank you guys for missing us last week. We were on our honeymoon after a phenomenal wedding night. Let me tell you, I feel like it went very well.
Yes,
I've been to a number of weddings, and I will toot my own horn in saying I don't feel like the energy died out at any point at all.
No,
I feel like the drink was pouring all night.
Yes,
and the food was at least an 8 out of 10. I don't know how the cake tastes. I didn't get any.
It was great.
Cake was good. Yeah, cake was good.
It was great. Speaking of the energy staying up top, we took a bathroom break and came back, and like the only people left in the dance room was Chris and his beautiful bride. And Meredith and I were like, oh, we love this song. So we start dancing a little bit. Somebody comes running over. They're like, no, this is their last dance together. You need to get outside. I was like,
get out.
I was like, oh, well, I probably should have put that
should have stayed on that floor. No, we had. So, hiccups are what they are. So we had Heaven, which comes from the soundtrack of The Crimes of Grindelwald. That was supposed to be our first dance. And they're like, the woman who's supposed to be the planner, anyway, she's like, oh, they can do that live. We're like, no, just play the recording. We want to make sure we get the right one. No, they're going to do it live. No, play the recording. They did it live. Completely different song. Our first dance, we'd never heard that song before a day in our life at all. And I don't dance, so I'm sitting here like, all right, I literally Chanel, I'm like, we're gonna smile and make this shit up. Let's go.
It looked great.
Yeah. And then like as soon as I got off the floor, I ran over to the quote unquote planner, and I'm like, hey, now make sure you play the right song at some point in time, and make sure we know so that we're on the floor by ourselves. The embarrassment was there. And I'm like, oh, and just play the recording like I asked you to.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a beautiful night.
The band was great though.
They were phenomenal. They sent Chanel's dad this picture of them, of him and her, like framed and everything, having been on the dance floor, because they're friends of her father.
Okay.
So like that just added another level. Pretty much every vendor there, minus the planner, was a friend of the family.
Yeah.
It's like the photographer Elle is in Virginia and came all the way here. She lives in Gloucester, and like she came all the way over here to shoot. And the band is a friend, and then the quartet that we had was like loosely a friend. So
okay, cool,
that's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And got Chris, it a lot cheaper too.
Chris, I got to give you props one more time. So Chris was obviously fully present in every like bit of the wedding and with his bride and family and everything. But Alan, you can vouch for this. Chris managed to go around the room all night long talking to everybody.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But still being with his new wife and everything. Like, I just felt so welcome there the whole time. Like, I told Meredith, I was like, well, we kind of know people here, but we'll stay off in the corner. Like, nope. Chris is like, come on, hey, look, dude, we're drinking. Like, enjoy yourself. It was great. So
Meredith had a phenomenal time. I cannot
she had
wait
a
for y'all's
blast.
wedding.
She loves you guys. Oh my goodness.
Speaking of that, Ian, when's the big date? Huh?
Oh yeah, shit.
So chapter 46. Beyond the Gate. Is that where we're at?
Dodging. All right. Yeah, and also I did meet Chris's father-in-law, completely trash. So let's talk about meeting father-in-laws. Chapter 46. Beyond the Gate.
He actually really likes you. Like, he was like, so the guy Alan, not the Alan that we know, but the other Alan. He's into banking. He's a really interesting character. I'd like to get to talk to him a little bit more. I was like, because I knew how lit you were.
Yeah,
I was trashed.
Especially, well, he caught us at the end of the night.
Yeah, at the end, at the very end. Like,
I watched it.
I got two hands on the table, making sure I'm steady as I'm talking to him.
He comes out. He's like, so you play golf? I'm like, I try. Sometimes.
This guy's like a multi-millionaire, always looking to invest and have fun with his money. And
right,
Dude,
he's like, "Oh, I just want-"
that venue was awesome. I looked up how it cost to join.
Yeah,
because Happy's like, this place is nice. We should get like an out of town membership here. And I went and looked it up. I was like, it's $100,000 initiation fee. Hell no.
We might attend weddings there. That's going
I
to
need a little more than 70 patrons for that guy.
Yes, yeah, he's very well connected and does very well for himself. Speaking of which, on top of other lifetime happenings, my last day at UNC Charlotte as an employee is Friday. Because I start up as a relationship banker at Truist on Monday.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
snap.
So I'm making some moves, trying to, change it up. Yep. I'm going to head over to Truist and learn about a whole new field and explore some different ventures. And so who knows where that will lead, but I'm about to dive head first into it.
That's fun. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 46, Beyond the Gate. And
okay. So for us to be nearing the end of the book, these chapters were not that great.
Yeah. I love this chapter, but the other chapter.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. I thoroughly love this chapter for what it's worth. But it's
Agreed.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to echo exactly what you said. I'm wanting more. So these standalone chapters, great. Lots of goodies. But again, I keep doing this every week. We only got that much left. A pinky's with. And by Chris, it's half a pinky.
Yeah, we
where's the action?
4 episodes after this. So
bring it.
I will say this, though. I will say we are finally getting Perrin chapters, and that's really all that matters.
Sure. Yeah, there you go. So
the whole next book is going to be all Perrin.
There you
Better
go.
be.
Better be.
It's
a lot of puppy making.
We start as Perrin leaves Rand's room and sees good old Daddy Faile. Just yeah, and notices the smell right away. Cold fury. Got a great way to meet your father-in-law. I would say future father. No, already father-in-law.
Already father-in-law. He walks up super bashful, like, Lord Bashir. Oh, really? How we're done with that now? We're done with that. We finally got my man.
Perrin who? This Perrin.
Perrin
we're talking about.
Lord Perrin Ibarra.
Lord Perrin. Put some respect on it. So I'll say this. I only have a little bit of experience spending time with Riley when she started dating. She's my only daughter, 19 now, in her mid-teens when she started dating. I never wanted to be that dad was like when he comes over, I'm going to be cleaning a shotgun and threatening or whatever. Like that's, you don't need none of that. Too much of that negativity. But even though trying to remain, positive, accepting, make sure my daughter's happy, all that jazz, as a father with your daughter, it's hard to not have those feelings of like just the questions in your head. What makes you think you're good enough? This is, someone precious to me sort of thing. It's terrifying. So that anger, fear, what was it described that he smelled?
cold fury.
Cold fury. Like that doesn't necessarily mean that Bashir is a jerk or wanting to be a jerk to Perrin. It's just hard to not have those feelings about your daughter.
Yes.
When she's dating.
My now father-in-law, as you guys heard in his speech,
Mm-hmm.
clearly had that look in his face when I popped up to ask for his daughter's hand. It was this look of like, who is this boy approaching me? And why is he talking to me about my daughter? You've got to understand even if you're not a father, you can put yourself in those shoes because there's somebody in your life that you've been protective over. And then here, she's pretty much been stolen away.
Yeah.
They got married.
This example is
permission.
fairly extreme. And she's very young here.
Which that's another thing. Like I didn't really think about that until other people brought it to my attention. Those are those things that I don't want to think about.
I mean, that's one of the things. The first thing he brings up is that she's too young to marry without permission. Like, she's not too young to get married, just not without permission. Like she's, I guess,
16-ish.
I think we did the math last time. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like
somewhere around there.
17, something like that.
Still pretty young.
Yeah. And it says, she's in with her mother right now, and we'll find out whether or not her mother gives permission. And, if she doesn't, then she'll be punished. And
he's like, but we're already married. Like the wisdom, tied the knot. And he's like, who are you again? Yeah. And why do you think we abide by what the wisdom does? Yeah. I don't know who the wisdom is or what she is.
I don't care if you had a couple Aes Sedai blessing off on it. Like that doesn't count by our standards, our culture, our laws. So nothing you've done could have possibly made it an actual marriage.
He even scolded him like, Faile, who the heck is Faile? I'm talking about my daughter Zareen.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, Faile's the name that she took when she became a hunter of the horn. He's like, oh, a hunter. She didn't tell me that. He's like,
which he kind of liked. He's like, oh my God, on that horn.
And he was like, shit, I'm supposed to be angry. I'm so happy.
And then it says the whole thing that if Perrin doesn't prove himself to Bashir, Faile will suffer immense punishment, and Davram will kill Perrin. I mean, he flat out says that he'll kill Perrin.
He's sitting there like fingering his sword the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't sound right to me. I should.
And Perrin, I love Perrin's response. You take Faile, I'll just take it right back. I don't care how many horsemen you have.
Bashir's like, I have 9,000 spears and da 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 da. And Perrin's
like, I just fought 10,000 Trollocs. I don't care.
Perrin's like, are they any harder to kill than Trolloc? Because if not, then we can do this.
We can do it.
I can see him in a blazing fury, like wolf claws out, teeth are like gnarled and eyes glowing, and just fangs of fury style.
Yeah, I love Perrin's style here. I mean, you don't back down, and whatever they try to like offer as a threat, or hey, I got 9,000 of this. It's just whatever, that ain't enough. Back in the day when, believe it or not, there was a version of Ian that just enjoyed getting in fights, especially in my early army years, and I hung out with people that also enjoyed doing that. It's hard to explain. I'm talking to somebody about it. We'll figure that out. But one of my go-to lines was, I'm not that big of a guy. 5'7", 185, used to be more muscle, but still not very tall. So if there's some confrontation around the bar or whatever, or somebody bumping me and they puff the chest out, what? I would just look at them and I'd be like, hey bro, how much you weigh? They'd be like, what? I'm like, how much you weigh, man? They're like, wait, 220, motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, it's not enough. Go on. And just dismiss him and turn my back to him. Let me tell you, if a dude is 6 foot tall, 220, and a 5'7", 180 dude goes, not enough, you're a waste of my time, and turns his back on you, there is going to be a fight. I'd reel him in with that every single time.
As soon as he puts his hand on me, I can snap into action.
Exactly. Yeah, I won't swing first, but I'll swing second, third, fourth, and fifth. I ain't worried about that.
Fatality.
Young Ian. Anyway, so also during this whole entire thing, it gets into the whole thing where Bashir's trying to figure out if Perrin knew who he was, and is trying to work his way into the royalty of Saldea, and it's like It's like, I'm not even a lord. I don't even know who your daughter was. Like, she told me you were a merchant and said you were something else and said this and that. And I had no idea. I mean, I figured it was something important because she kept on changing her story, but like,
Yeah.
I'm just a blacksmith. And she just starts laughing. He's like, that's fine. He's like, I don't care.
The
He's like,
creator
plenty of
never
people-
made the houses. Some forget it, but go far back into any house and you'll find a commoner who showed uncommon courage or kept his head and took charge when everybody else was running around like plucked geese.
Mhm.
And then you'll
Yeah.
find people that are currently nothings that came from lines of kings. So it's like,
Mhm.
I like that about Bashir. I have to say, like, that was one of those moments where there's just this raw. I think that's it. They both were just like raw and honest.
Mhm.
Now, mind you, they kind of have Faile as this article or item rather than a human being with thoughts and intentions. It's like, she's mine. No, she's mine. Well, actually, she's my
Yeah.
wife's, and I dare you to say that to my wife because my wife will. But you'll learn real quick that with these women, you have to realize they're like subtle doves. But my wife will kick your ass if you.
Yeah.
I was like, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you marry into this, Perrin? Run. To say
Run.
thank you. You can have her back. Goodbye. I don't like go find somebody else.
Yeah.
There's a
I
Two
get the
River
feeling,
woman
though,
out there for you.
Bashir is, I mean, he's feeling him out. Obviously, you know, that's what I'm seeing. And
Mhm.
it's not, do you have enough money? Do you have enough people following you? Is your name big enough? Are you important enough? I don't think he really cares about that. It's,
No.
you know, are you gonna take care of my girl? Are you gonna protect her when you can? You know, are you gonna be a partner to her? That sort of thing. So even though like what comes out is kind of like what you're saying, like she's mine, like he's also feeling out some of the more important stuff.
Agreed.
Like I think he was relieved when Perrin came back with one. When I heard who you were, I was like, I need to back out of this, but she wouldn't let me. And
Yeah.
nice try trying to change her mind on anything, right? But also,
He said, that's my girl.
yeah, the whole I'm just a blacksmith thing. Like I don't like. I mean, whatever people claim to be following me, but that's not my gig, sort of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think Bashir's pretty wise. I think he reads into that, and he's like, okay, this, you know, it's not just somebody after the money, after the position, after the broken throne. Apparently,
Yeah.
you know,
Which that was an
whatever
interesting
this
term.
is.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
thought. She was like, what does that mean?
Mm.
What is the broken throne?
Perrin's about to take over a lot more land, I think.
Let me say this too. Like that, I feel Perrin. I've been in his spot. Like that's how Chanel's dad was up until literally the day before. He's like, you know, you still got a chance to back out because you know she ain't right. But she's mine, but she ain't right. She's just like her mother. They're not right. But if you think you can handle all this, then I was like, you know what? I could still back. I said, but there are a lot of people that would not be happy with me.
Yeah, but is he saying that because he truly thinks that about his daughter, or is he feeling you out? Is he
He's
making sure there's no
yeah.
hesitation? Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know her
There's a
dad
grain of
at
truth
all,
to
but
it, too, but
the vibe I got was he certainly trusts her in her decision and everything. And if he said that, he was feeling you out.
Mhm.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So they decide after all this to go check on the girls. So they go to where Faile and her mom are talking.
Yeah.
I can see like Perrin reaching for the door, and you hear the scuffle, and Bashir like holding his hand, like not yet.
Not yet.
Hold on.
Give it 5. You're gonna learn real quick, boy. I'm teaching you your
Right.
first lesson.
Yeah.
We're gonna pretend we didn't know nothing about any of that.
Mhm.
And
And,
then
I think Bashir actually knocks softly. He's like, "Am I okay?" And he's like, "Oh," and they immediately stop. It's like cut off. It's like, "Yes, come in, honey." We're
Gives him a
fine.
quick warning, like, "Hey, we're gonna come in. We're
Yeah.
gonna come in."
Yeah, and yeah. As soon as the first thing the parent sees is a slap mark on Faile's face, and he starts getting super angry about it. Then he turns and looks and sees a slap mark, a mark on her mom's face too. It's like, oh wow, it's like that. Okay.
He's like, interesting.
He doesn't know what to do.
If I had waited a little bit longer, how far would this have gone?
yeah.
Yeah.
Got any more hand marks on you, babe?
That's
That you
what
want to
she
show me?
said.
Yeah.
So for a split second, like I wanted to be upset about this, but that's more so my own past. Like anytime there's the physical violence in any sort of family relationship, I really get up in arms. But then I thought about it, and we still don't know much about their culture. One, it could be an actual like rites of passage type ritual. Like maybe this is something that's always done. But even if it's not in their culture, the way this played out, it very much seemed like it was a rites of passage moment between mother and daughter, right? Where
Yeah,
mother was probably pushing buttons the same way Bashir was with Perrin. And, you know, if Faile would have caved and just been like, oh, yes, mother, fine, I'll do whatever you say, then Faile probably also wasn't ready. But it seems like Faile stood her ground. And as this plays out, I think everybody is appreciating that and recognizing, one, who Faile is despite her age. You know, she is ready. And two, like this relationship is, there's some sincerity there.
Stood her ground against the Amazonia.
Did you get PTSD from this scene though? When she walks up, starts poking the chest harder and harder over and over again. Like
I did think about it, but it doesn't fire me up the way it used to. I still don't like it, but I did not get as fired up. Yeah.
But yeah, she goes to the parent and starts poking him in the chest, like just because you have yellow eyes doesn't make you a wolf. You know, like
which I thought was quite interesting. Like that didn't shock or surprise her. They were very familiar with the yellow eyes and the idea of being a wolf.
Yes.
So I'm like, maybe there's a little bit more to that part. Maybe they know something about, maybe they can become birds and he becomes a wolf. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now, but
and it's funny how his first approach, I think, was the wrong one. He was going to come in there and try to like be very bashful and very, very meek. And as he starts poking him, he just gets enraged and is like, and she's like, oh, so
what she was really trying to do is see if he had big enough balls to stand up to a one.
Yeah.
So a woman of her caliber, because the way he describes her is like she is an Amazonian, like she's thick, she's not like fat, but just built nice. Like a Amazon. She's a brick house, you know.
Them thighs that'll squeeze you and just make it hurt so good.
Pop. Yeah.
Yep.
Like my image is just so like Xena warrior princess, but thicker, much thicker.
Yeah.
I want you to hurt me, but like do it in a way that makes it feel safe.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
The word is pineapple.
Right. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I will say, like in that little instance where she was physically pushing and prodding Perrin, it wasn't so much the poking in the chest. It was just I'm not a fan of, and where do I start this? When you recognize that somebody is big, physically big or strong, or you sense that they're capable of violence, so you intentionally poke and prod until they show some of that violent side. Too much in the past, I've seen where people do that just so they could point the finger and say, see, I told you. You know, people aren't safe around you. You're dangerous. Da 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 da. And like, that's not the case. The case was you're a piece of shit that poked and prodded to the point where you deserve to get yelled at or have some sort of reaction. So I was not a fan of that at all.
Right.
Nah.
Even though this scene, I guess, played out okay, but like,
well, you got Faile in the background just smiling away, like, yes, show them what you are. And I'm right there with you though. Like I am that guy. I've been in that position where it takes a lot to get me riled up, but once you do, just know it's your fault.
Is it right? Exactly. Not Chris's fault at that point. I'm even thinking, like, I had some friends in the special forces community that, I mean, very unassuming, smaller than me, you know, some of them skinny as a rail. And I'll tell you right now, stone cold killers. But you'd never guess it. They're calm, cool, collected. And, you know, I've been at bars where people are trying to mess with them, pick fights with them. Like, oh, why are you wearing that patch? You know, you say blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I'm like, don't push him too far. He will remove your limbs and beat you with it. But like people do that sometimes.
Yeah,
like they just want to push you and see where you go. Like, why would you do that?
I mean, we're right around the corner here from Little Creek. Where the Navy SEALs are based, and I've met some of the Navy SEALs. Some of them are big, dudes. Some of them aren't.
Yeah,
but they will. Yeah,
right.
They'll take you out with like a pinky.
Right, but they're mostly in public. They're calm, cool, collected dudes, and highly intelligent. Like, you never know.
That's the crazy thing about them. Most of them are super intelligent.
Yes.
Most of them, like the IQ is here, the physical ability is here,
The emotional
tenacity,
intelligence
fortitude, the
is very
emotion.
high.
And the minute they snap, though, like all of that goes into overdrive, and they're thinking about all the things they can do. And like I said, I'm that type of person. I'm cool until you push me, and then when I get to that point, I black out. After that, it's your fault.
Right. But don't you get that vibe about Perrin too? Like there's not a bone in him that wants to be violent. However, we've seen once he has to cross that threshold or is forced into it, I don't want to be standing against him. I might even be a little worried being on his side, but too close to him. You know?
Yeah, with a PTSD moment, like I wish I had my axe right now. Like,
right.
He's never asked for his axe. I think this is the first time I've ever seen a line where he was actively thinking, "I wish I had my axe."
Right, triggered.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. After some talk, Dira Bashir finally says, "I think he's good enough." Kind of, and Bashir's like, "Oh, we need some new blood in our line." So
6 or 7 pups will be good.
6 pups, at least.
But it wasn't just new blood. What didn't they talk about? They needed to strengthen the bloodline. Something.
Well, he admitted he's like, I'm he's a third of the man or half of the man my grandfather was, and he was a tough man, and he's like, and I'm a pretty tough man, but I'm nothing compared to him. And I'm like, well,
did they come from a line of these wolf people?
Or, there was some question that I had, like, how do they know so much about the Golden Eyes and what exactly?
And they were intrigued very much about Perrin and that he would strengthen the bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he's a tall
but is
guy,
it about
magic?
Is it about old magic, or is it about having wolf magic? That's kind of where my mind went. I think it's more just magic in general.
I think it's kind of woofy.
Yeah.
Mostly because of her recognizing the yellow eyes, not being it. She just seemed to recognize it. She knew what it was and wasn't concerned with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Anything from all
Chris?
this
Chris, you said these chapters. Oh, I'm looking for action. There's action here. It's not the action we were looking for.
No, it's not.
But this is still really is good stuff.
It's a juicy chapter.
Right.
It's juicy. I like that. So before we move on to Rand's point of view, anything from all this?
No.
So switch to Rand. It takes off right where Perrin left him, saying that he's not going to go to Tyr.
Hold on, wait. I am going to take a step back real quick because this is my favorite line of the chapter. And I've gotten away from doing that, so I kind of reminded myself. Maybe he married into a family where everyone was mad. I feel him on that. Y'all saw this. Y'all saw the sisters, but trust me, y'all don't know the sisters.
I mentioned that before you came on. I went and said hi to all of her family like quickly. So very short conversations in a public setting. What do I know, right? I'm not seeing the real them, but the vibe I got off of them was just nothing but love in that room. It was very good. So even if it is a little different or crazy, or maybe they got their own thing going on, I think you should just enjoy the ride. Don't fight it. Just be part of it because it looks like they got a good thing going on.
They like you look at them and you wouldn't be able to tell. They're all nerds, like huge, big time. Like they're all Harry Potter fans, and they've all watched The Wheel of Time and started to read the series. And like to look at them, they're also huge fans of Beyonce, and they go for that too. But you had a doctor, you had a big time real estate agent, you had all. Anyway, but behind closed doors,
I'll leave that to you. Looks
my
fun.
My door opened. I had to make sure I watch my mouth.
That's right. Not just same as a wink to a blind man.
Anyway, sorry. So that was my
a gray man just walked into Chris's room.
Yeah, right.
Sent an assassin. Just
called Lily. Their cats are gotten huge, by the way.
Oh, they're
the Lily. She has come out of her shell and has taken over the house. So
nice.
If the door opens and closes, it's because she's decided she wants to play peekaboo with her brother.
Sounds about right. Yep. So you guys ready for Rand / the men jumping on Rand's lap over and over again?
Oh yeah, and Rand likes it.
One last thing. and I'll try not to tie everything into Chris's wedding, but it might just happen all tonight. I like the little bit of back and forth we saw with Bashir and his wife. And well, again, mentioning the cultural relativism, there might be things about how they handle the relationship that we don't agree with, but there's very much a balance there, and they have distinct roles, but also they're very much partners, and they both show a lot of respect and reverence to each other in the decisions they make. Like they were both very much a strong part of that decision process. Like I don't know how much was planned ahead of time, or if they just had secret signals and winks to make it work. And to tie to Chris's wedding, there were like 16 parts where I started crying. One of them was really when the wedding officiant was just getting into really the roles of man and woman in a marriage and what you guys are signing up for and what she's talked to you guys about. And man, she just hit the nail on the head. It makes no sense for two people in a relationship to be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you're just more efficient as a couple if one's responsibilities here and the other is there, and there's certainly overlap, but it's all like centered around each other and God and taking care of one another. Anyways, I got them vibes here between Bashir and his missus. You know, some of it might have seemed off-putting, but like the way they were like, wink, wink, got you, babe. All right, I'm making a final say, and she's like, ooh, my man having a say. I like it. Well, we gonna do that. Like it's
that's how you're supposed to show it. That's what a man does. Like she was like, she's like,
Right.
get out of here, get out of the room. We got work to do.
But all right,
all
so
hot and heavy.
From what we saw, though, Chris, if you had to look at that and back it up with evidence from the book here, who was in charge, Bashir or his wife?
I don't say that there was one individual there.
Bingo.
It's a
I don't think
agreement.
Right. Anyways, I like that. You know, no one person made it happen. They did it together. So gave me warm fuzzies in a really weird way.
Nope, I'm there. Now he gets a crazy Rand and his sitting woman.
Yeah, so Min enters the room and tells him all about the viewing that she saw, about Perrin and how.
Well, the first question is, did you have a good talk with Faile? She's like, didn't last long. She just wants to know whether or not I had a thing for Perrin.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. Like,
that's pretty much it. Yeah.
She's a little bit crazy. I just want you to know this. Like, she's super protective of him, and I don't know what the Falcon's gonna do when the eagle shows up. Was it the eagle?
The hawk.
Bird? The hawk.
The hawk.
I don't know what the Falcon's gonna do when the hawk shows up. And he's like, huh?
Yeah.
Which had me thinking too, like, is there gonna be a second woman for Perrin? How is that gonna fly?
Something really dramatic would have to happen. Like maybe he thought Faile dies in a battle, but she just gets taken off. And even then, Perrin's the type of dude that would go years before he ever talked to another woman. So
yeah,
I can't think of a scenario where he would be drawn to somebody else.
Unless it's his daughter. I'm kidding.
I mean, possible. Yeah. But then that'd be a shame. But, you know, with the relationship between Faile and Perrin, that they're so far apart that now he's at odds. Like, you know, do I stand up for my wife or stand up for my daughter? You would hope.
Yeah.
You know, from a foundational standpoint, like you could come very close together on those things. If you're that far apart where you're fighting over a child, those are issues you should have worked out before you decided to knock the boots. You know?
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Then again, they want 6 or more. So
yeah, you're gonna get a lot of personalities in a litter of 6.
Exactly. We'll let Alan take the show back over now.
Oh no, yeah. Sorry, my dog. Your cat goes into my room. My dog tries to barge in all the time. So yeah. So we switched to, like I said, with Min coming in. We'll talk about the viewings for a little bit. So there's a bunch of those. Talking about the viewings, Chris.
Yes. So I kind of thought it was interesting when they were talking specifically about the darkness swallowing the fireflies. Is that the right word to use? I was like,
yeah.
I don't feel like that's really. It didn't make sense to me. I think this is the first time where I'm like, where does this come into play?
Well, that's one of the first viewings that Min had of Rand was like there was this darkness swallowing a bunch of like fireflies.
I
and
remember
it's
that,
really
but like,
intense.
why
But
that image?
well, I'm curious. I'd like to see her give a viewing with one of the other male channelers, strong male channelers at this point, either Taim or who's the guy that
Mhm.
I said I have?
Okay.
Logan.
Logain.
Yeah.
To see if there's a similar image. And maybe that's part of the what they call going insane, but maybe it's part of this battle he's having with Lews Theron and who's going to occupy that space.
Yeah.
And doesn't even she talk about how you need to keep Perrin around?
Yeah, I said at least two
Yeah.
times something bad will happen. She pauses and stops. It's like something bad will happen to you, Rand. You need to keep him around.
And she's like,
Yeah.
it's him being around is not going to stop it from happening. It's going to happen.
Well, she
It's
can't
almost like-
guarantee it'll stop it from happening, but she knows it'll happen for certain if he's not there.
Yes. And so I agree with you. I think it has something to do with his lucidity.
Right.
And
And
it takes
Matt
his
Perrin can
friends to
ground
bring
him.
out. Yes.
Yeah.
That I like. But why the image of fireflies and darkness? Like that's the only thing that just maybe that was the only thing Jordan could come up with. Well, how am I going to show this? Fireflies are like thoughts, and the darkness is consuming the thoughts.
Huh.
So like that,
Yeah,
that was the
could be.
idea behind the imagery for me. If it has a deeper understanding than that, he just hasn't clued me in enough for me to really feel it.
I just had some never-ending story vibes from that. The nothing, the nothing
Weren't they
swallowing the
supposed to be
memories.
doing that movie?
I don't know if they are, but I don't want to be scarred again. I mean, I'm still all these years later still getting over. Don't give in to the sadness. I do not want to see it again. I don't
Yeah.
need to. I mean, I've seen it enough. I mean, even more recently. But
That movie
I
was
don't need it right
surreal.
now. Man, now you got me all down.
I haven't given in to the sadness, but I have given in to a lot of Jim Beam and tequila.
Well, I'll tell you,
It's close to the same.
if you were down, the one thing that'll get you up is men bouncing on your lap. Not M-E-N, M-I-N.
Yeah.
Well,
Whenever I need a
I'll
pick-me-up,
bounce your lap, Ian, if you want.
I'm having a bad day.
Ian,
I
I
need
thought they
some
were
men to bounce on my
jailbreaking you,
lap.
by the way.
Yeah.
You're still in that hellhole?
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm out of here by Thursday. That's
So
Prayers will go up.
I mean, I know this is like a huge speculation type thing, and I hate to even ask, but what do you think? Do you think Rand's in trouble of dying? Is that kind of what she's getting at? Is that what you figured? Or
yeah, Rand's gonna do one of those die but come back things. Yeah.
okay.
Totally.
No, I am still on the verge of him just losing himself to Lews Theron. I agree with you on that one, Ian. I really do think it's them keeping him grounded into this world. The other thing is him losing his power.
Which
So
back
is
to
it-
Egwene's thing when she saw the vision of her, well, not vision, but she experienced her being Amerlin when Rand was caught and they were gonna gentle him.
So,
That could be coming soon.
something like that. So I'm kind of in between those thoughts. I don't see him dying and coming back, but it could happen. Bounce whatever makes you happy. Exactly, Skeeter. Bounce whatever makes you happy. That's why I married mine.
Men.
Whatever.
As long as it's juicy.
Pilates ball. You know, they're fun. Anyways, so then Min kisses Rand lightly and leaves. And Rand starts to think.
He said, "She's gonna stop that shit. That kissing thing ain't cool. She's taking it way too far." He still thinks this is a joke. I think that's the part that kills me the most about this whole situation. Is he still thinks this is a joke?
Yeah, but he's put off by it. But then he always has a thought of like, but I mean, it's kind of nice.
Min will be his plaything, but I don't think she's gonna ever give him a child.
And then good old Lews just jumps right in. Turn off.
Luz is
starts
like,
starts
I
screaming,
like it when she
yelling about
kisses
Aes Sedai and all sorts of other craziness. And Rand's like, "Shut up!
There's too many. We gotta kill them all. Like,
Kill 'em all."
I don't want to be here either, but I have a thing to do, and I could die now, and I'd be happy, but I can't
Rand's
die.
like, "You're already dead." He's
so-
like, "I'm not dead.
I'm
I'm
dead,
not
I'm
dead."
dead.
And Rand starts chugging alcohol. Which, back to your thing, Ian, that's kind of a solution. It's just chug wine. And just
Yeah.
make it stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
So
I had a very recent appointment where, so I don't have this issue. I don't think we're working on that. I was talking about my biggest problem right now is sleep and has been for quite some time. Horrible sleeper for all sorts of reasons. And he's like, "Well, is there anything you've been able to do that makes it better?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, if I down a bottle of wine like 30 minutes before I go to sleep, I sleep like a baby, but I'm trying to not do that." And he's like, he's scribbling notes very hard. He's like, "Yeah, that's not good." I was like, "You don't need to write that down. I'm saying I know that's not good." Like, I'm not trying to do that. Like, there's got to be another solution. Just
drink
shaking
tea,
his
pass
head,
out.
going, "Oh boy."
Oh, man. Oh, that's bad.
That's real
We're gonna
bad.
have many more moments of meeting.
A whole bottle by yourself? Well, sometimes 1.5. I don't know.
Back during my pink drinking days, I'd always hate going to the doctor. Like, so how much alcohol do you drink a week? I was like, a week or night?
Yeah.
Like, you want me to try to count for a week? Oof.
Let me give you an idea. Handle a night. at midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, back in those days. Yeah. Now I
What's
hardly
worse?
drink-
What's worse is when you hesitate. So they try to give you examples, and they're like, "Yeah, some people who say they drink a lot, they'll go out and have like 4 or 5 drinks." And I'm like,
in a
4 or
minute.
5. That's it.
an hour.
That's the warm up before going out. We're not even out yet
Yeah.
at 4 to 5.
Yeah. 222. So yeah.
Maybe
I had
do
that
have a
question
problem.
tonight. I just smiled at her. She's like, "Yeah, we'll just put casual drink."
Casual. I'm super casual when I'm drinking, bro. Sometimes I don't even got pants on.
Casual.
Casual as fuck.
Speaking of
Casual
which,
drink.
we got our boy Matt who just wants to take a drink.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll get to our boy Matt. But first we get to Demira. Switch to her point of view.
Oh, yeah.
She's an Aes Sedai. She's stopping by the new city and really just upset about all the permissions that Rand's put. Best permission for everything. Who do you think he is? I'm
For
an
cool
Aes Sedai.
reasons, though.
Yeah.
Her reason is she's got a connection in the library.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
well, she might turn out to be a bad, evil person. So far, I like this about her. Like, Aes
Yeah.
Sedai, they have their plants all over the place. How smart is this? Let me get somebody that's in the records room in a place that has history that goes way, way back. Like that.
Exactly.
The nerd in me was like, all right, that's cool.
Yeah.
I want to meet this guy too.
Hmm.
Let's read some scrolls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as she's
Speaking of scrolls, Elantra, chapter 4.
chapter 4 of this book.
Elantra? Am I saying
Elantra?
it right?
Yeah, Alondra.
Yeah.
What about her?
No, I'm saying the wrong. What's the name?
Says
of that book?
Sanderson.
Sanderson.
Oh, Elantris.
Elantris.
Oh, Elantris. Oh,
chapter
yeah.
4.
Oh, you're in there. Okay.
Scrolls, books,
Scrolls, books, lots
hundreds
of
of years old,
Yeah.
being consumed.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
It's an interesting book. Lots of
It
zombies.
is.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. Have you touched it yet, Ian?
I'm not there yet.
Have you finished Miss? Oh, speaking of which, I
he's
should have
finished
brought
Mistborn
that
Era
in.
1. Yeah.
Have you started
Yeah.
Era 2 yet?
No.
What'd you think of Era 1?
Oh, bro, we're gonna have a conversation. Loved it.
It was so
Yep.
good.
Loved
I had
it.
this phenomenal book that I got for my wedding, leather bound.
It's pretty. That's really pretty
Very
artwork.
pretty
in it.
gold leaf, phenomenal artwork. It has a spot of honor in our bookshelf. It's even got
Yeah.
Sanderson's signature.
Yeah.
The guy that
it's
gave
signed.
it to me, I
That's
love him
awesome.
a lot. I appreciate him. Look, this is how I know it was hard for him to give it up, because I know he didn't wrap that paper.
No,
I'm pretty sure.
my wife did.
I'm pretty sure his wife did.
Mhm.
And she made it to where he could open it as many times as he needed to look at it before he handed it over. to make the decision as to whether or not he was gonna.
So
hand it over.
the truth is, we wrapped in the hotel before coming, and we forgot to bring tape. So she went on YouTube and found out how to wrap a present with no tape,
Bruh,
and that's why
she
it's
did
wrapped
a
the way it was.
phenomenal job on that wrapping. I'm telling you, like, I have never seen such good wrapping in my life. So I was like, oh my god, a pro wrap this. I'm like, Happy did it.
Happy did Yep.
Meanwhile, as he walks up and he's holding it, he mumbles to me. He's like, "It's not too late. I could keep it." he's like, "I'll just donate to the honeymoon thing and keep this." And I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
man, you've already walked in with a gift. It's got to go to the gift table." God
Like,
He's
I guess it was the
"There's
wedding
no
planner came over
table."
and goes, "Oh yeah, the gifts go over here." I was like, "I don't want to give it to you."
She's like pulling it out of his hand. She's like, let go.
go.
Gotta let go.
I wouldn't have given it to her. She lost. We thought she lost her damn marriage license.
Oh wow.
We were
Okay.
scrambling at 11:30 Sunday night. We called her and everything. Like, where's our marriage license? What?
Kind of the
we're
whole point
turning
of the
that in
day.
on Monday. Like that, we're supposed to do that before our honeymoon.
Mhm.
We get a response back at like 9:00. Oh, I have it. I found it. I'm like, you found it? Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, so she decides to go back to the alley or back to the inn via alleyways. Demira does, and as she's walking through the alleys, going back and forth, there's no one there, and she goes around a corner and is face to face with Aiel.
I was gonna
and-
say this is not an Aiel thing.
Yeah.
Well,
A Shido Aiel thing, maybe, but not.
and do we
Rand's
know it's
Aiel.
not Shido?
I mean, it's in
We don't
Middle
know.
Camelot. We don't know, but there's plenty of Aiel in the city. You'd think that Shido would be. I don't know. Well,
These are sneaky cats,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, and she makes room for the Aiel to pass, but then a spear thrust towards
Wait,
her.
does
documents.
she
Yep.
does she make any note of like the black eyes thing? Was that here?
I think so. Where's my book? It's over here. You have to.
Hold on, I'm a couple
You're
pages
probably
behind.
fast. You're probably faster
gotta
than I
get
am
them.
to find it. Oh, we got the kitties in the picture. Oh.
She's sitting here fucking with my mic, so I picked her up.
Yeah, we have seen dark friend, i.e., Melindra. Yes, Melindra. Let's see.
After my drink.
So now you're gonna watch us go through and try to find it on the books. Let's see. Here it is. There are a couple of us wandering.
That
Heads.
remembered face was thrust into hers, black eyes, mocking,
Mhm.
growling, something she ignores as she tried to reach Sidar, tried to darkness close in. So
Yeah.
when she mentions these black eyes, are these like the same black eyes when we had, what was that girl that Landfear was controlling
Oh.
back in Tarvalon?
Yeah.
Elsie?
Oh, no,
Elsa?
yeah. Elsie, and
Elsie?
also there was another one
Yeah.
in the Sonneteer as well. But yeah.
But when and so we weren't certain if this was the actual person just being controlled or like a reanimated dead version, or like these people are dead and somehow this person's like controlling a spirit version of them or something.
Okay.
Because didn't we find out that Elsie was dead?
No, Elsie had left.
Elsie had
weeks-
left.
weeks before.
That's what
yeah.
it was. Right,
Had been
right.
kicked out of the tower weeks before. Yeah.
So if this is the same type of glossed over black eye sort of thing that she's trying to piece together, what do I know this from? Like maybe that's what it is. It's not truly Aiel. It's somebody like controlling these fake Aiel things. But
yeah.
But they could be Shido.
Could be.
They could be other Aes Sedai that are doing the thing that Megideon,
Where they changed their face.
where she's able to change the face and whatnot. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess that's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be any of those things.
But the dark eyes stood out to me. That was the one thing that jumped. I was like, all right, if it's not
Yeah.
truly Aiel doing this on somebody's command, they could be controlled by
Yeah.
someone.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even catch that.
Yeah. And then we switch immediately back to parents' point of view for a nice little talk after the parent meeting. After meeting the parents, Sulan's waiting on them, which parent thinks is weird because she just seems out of place to be a servant. Because, well, she's out of place.
There's only one highlight to this section, It's Perrin like, whew, that was interesting. And then Faile going, well, now we got to make babies.
Yeah.
Like we have to make babies.
Did you hear how many my mother said?
Yeah.
This we're on a schedule here.
Yeah, we got a schedule. We got to start pushing.
She even named them all already.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
We got to start now.
he does ask Faile about the broken crown, and she immediately changes the subject to that. She's like, yeah, so babies.
But maybe in changing the topic to babies, maybe she is answering the question.
Maybe so.
Maybe it requires them to conceive, and it's not Perrin that'll inherit the
Perrin
crown, but
Perrin
their
goes,
children.
Yeah, she said 6. She goes, at least 6.
At least.
Got to get some work to do. Can you help with this dress? I need to get this thing off.
Meanwhile, big old Perrin trying to gently undo the buttons is ripping buttons off left and right. Just rip, pow, ping.
He's like, are you gonna be subservient to me the way you said you were going to? Are you gonna listen to what I have to tell you? Are you gonna, because she's like, I think we should spy on Ray. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I need you to listen to me. Do as I tell you. She said, I won't. I caught that. I won't. But of course, Bashir warned him, don't believe what she says. Believe half of what she says, because there's some truth into it and there's some mistruth. So no, she's not going to spy on him. She's going to set other people to spy on him. Like, come on now. I got that right away. I was like, yeah, you slick, Faile. And Perrin's like all sidetracked by the fact that these buttons are so small and his hands are so big. And then all of a sudden she's like, I thought we could get started. He's like, whoa, thinking with the wrong act. He was pulling out the club.
It's very hard to concentrate when this is happening. I can
laying down the other hammer.
Someone's trying to have a conversation with me as they're undressing. I'm just like, I don't have words right now.
I'd like to say that I'm not going to get distracted from an important conversation because of something like that. But no, you nailed it, Alan. Just you could fight it for like 2 or 3 seconds inside your head, like, no, don't stop. Yeah. Don't stop. Oh, don't stop. Oh.
I'll be thinking about it while I'm doing it. Like, as soon as I'm done, our conversation will pick back up.
Oh, yeah.
I have done that to Chanel once or twice. We're having a conversation, and then we have a little bit of fun, and then she's ready to go to sleep, and the conversation starts back up, and then she's snoring on me, and I'm like, okay, guess I'm talking to myself now.
Yep. Yeah.
Talking to the moon.
We'll put this thought in the sleep journal, and I'll just let it go, and I'll come back to it tomorrow.
Goes on a post-it note right above the bed.
There you go. Yep. So that's a pretty short little point of view. Then switch back to Demir again. She awakes. Her warder's there, and 2 other Aes Sedai. How she survived the attack is immediately explained. That she was found and brought to the inn, I guess.
And she asked specifically about the wounds, and nothing, like many wounds, but nothing pierced a vital organ or anything. So it was all intentional, so that she would be found, not killed.
She's like, they gave me a message. They wouldn't kill me if they wanted me to deliver a message, and they sent somebody to you all to tell you where I was so that you can come and get me. Like, y'all didn't pick up on this. I bled out. I've lost multiple quarts of blood, and I'm having to think through things.
Yep.
I like her.
Now, hopefully they're not so full of themselves. Like, they got to take a moment and realize, okay, so obviously they start thinking this is Rand that called for this attack. But I'm hoping, especially with Varen around, that they take a much broader approach to this. Because whoever it is, to be able to do what they did, pretty dangerous. And also, how do I say this? It's almost like you got to start wondering if whatever reaction you take is the reaction that they were expecting or wanting. You don't want to, you've already fallen into a trap. You don't want to dig deeper into it. So you don't want to be like rash here and react too quickly. You got to think it through, get some more information, that sort of thing. And our Aes Sedai haven't been very good about that. They're just so full of themselves. They can't see the big picture half the time.
Yeah. Yep. And the message that was given, tell the other witches to stay away from Althor. What's the
Yeah. I swear to you, this is the Shido.
okay?
And this is the people that are with the Shido addressing him.
Mm-hmm.
Would the Shido use the term witches? These witches? They still
White
have some
Cloaks would.
reverence for Aes Sedai. White Cloaks would, yes.
That's
A
true.
White Cloak somehow involved in this.
That you're right.
And if it's White Cloaks, it's a Padden Fane type scenario, just trying to sow the seeds of chaos.
Mm.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
But they immediately go
absolutely
to.
right,
I feel like the Shido may be in leagues with Padden Fane at this point.
Yeah. But of course, they go immediately to blaming Rand. They say, like, oh, Rand must have sent them.
That's weak sauce.
Yeah.
Now, if Rand, all right, so here's another crazy theory. If Rand did, it wasn't Rand. It was Lews Therin in a moment when Lews Therin possibly got full control of Rand's body and then gave directions to these.
Or it was our other male channeler friend sending a message, Tyene.
That's also very possible.
There's too many potential people.
Yeah, but their reaction to that is let's cut communication with them.
Let's talk less.
Yeah, because communication all the time. That's how you. That's
gotta
how
make
you do
this.
things here.
Gotta make these books longer. Get more books in.
Yeah. Yeah. So they'll sit there. They decide, well, not send an embassy for a few days and let them stew. And they're looking at Min the entire time to see what her reaction will be to all this, because obviously she's been there with him. And that's how we end this chapter.
So when I started thinking about the Padden Fane thing, I also started thinking about the title of the book, and we were led to believe that Lord of Chaos might be Rand, but what if it's not? What if what was intended was Padden Fane? Because it seems like when he interjects himself, it's still hard to see what his end goal is, other than to just sow chaos. I mean, we already saw the attack on Rand with the White Cloaks.
Mm-hmm.
And that was orchestrated by Padden Fane.
Mm-hmm.
But then I like where you went with the idea of it could be Lews Therin getting moments of like takeover.
Right. That'd be nuts.
Because that would totally sow a lot of seeds of chaos. Because we know he wants people killed. And he calls them witches as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does he? I got to go back and. I know he doesn't trust the Aes Sedai. Certainly wants to kill them all.
Maybe he doesn't call them witches. Maybe I'm making that up. But I'd like for that to be a thing too. I'd like for Rand to have lost his mind totally and just not realize they have blackout moments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Yeah. Are you guys ready to go to the next one? Anything we missed?
But wait, there's more.
All right. Chapter 47. The Wandering Woman. You guys went on and on about this woman that's wandering around. And like after we're done, Jake came on. I was like, "It's an end, guys." You're like, "Oh, damn it!"
That makes perfect sense.
But we're back in Matt's point of view, and we have made it to Ebou Dar, the wonderful city of Ebou Dar, which is another strange culture. We saw a lot from Sadilian culture with the Bashirs. Saldean, and now we're at Ebou Dar, which has another very weird culture. But they get there.
We're not going to Alan.
Okay,
we're not going to say weird. We're
not shaming cultures. Different cultures,
especially since it's like Matt's people. He's like, oh, I feel welcome here. The dice seem to always be rolling. Like,
oh yeah, they're gamblers.
They're gambling all over the place. They're drinking beer. There's women. This is my type of town.
Oh yeah, and Matt's excited, definitely. But at the same time, all the Aes Sedai are not happy with Matt because they've all now realized that he has something about him that makes it so they can't channel at him, and they're trying to figure out how.
That frustrated the heck out of me. Throwing power at him and testing him, and then belittling him in front of his men. Like, how jacked up is that?
Elaine lost a lot of points with me in this chapter. And by a lot, I mean almost all. She kind of disgusted me. I hate everything about how she acted, how she treated Matt. I can almost give an excuse for Egwene and Nynaeve because of their connection and knowing him as a kid, but Elaine didn't grow up with Matt. And you think, I don't know, maybe the way she was raised and just always being in charge and learning to manipulate, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that made her who she was. But that's somebody like Matt coming up, a general of an army, someone rather significant, also someone that Rand really trusts, and supposedly you love Rand. I mean, she just acts like a self-entitled.
I'm gonna take a step back and think about what you just said, though. She was raised that way. He's a general of an army in charge of some of her people.
Not her people, nope.
Well, some of them, they know her ways.
Better from Camelin.
Yeah,
and the people in Camelin are not her people because her dumbass won't go there.
But the
she's been invited to claim her throne, and she's being a little. I'll do it on my own time.
In her mind,
I was gonna do the dishes, but then you told me to do dishes. Now I'm not gonna do it because you told me to.
But she's a queen, stupid. And he's a general. What should a general do to the queen but bow down?
He's no, don't like it.
Bow down.
No, sir, I just don't like it. No, sir, I just don't like
it. Bella comes out. No, sir, I just don't like it. So from the get-go, her making demands of Matt, like da 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 da, and these Tarangrel, they belong to Aes Sedai. Some would say da da da. So here's what we're gonna do. Every night you're gonna give it to me, and I'll give it back to you in the morning. Like I feel like she could have approached that way differently. And again, it goes back to the whole communication sucks in the Wheel of Time. But just
asking the question, can I study it for a little? Now, mind you, he would never have given it to her. No matter how she asked.
But then you have a conversation about like the problems as a whole. Be like, hey, look, this is a power mine that I discovered, and we're all trying to do X, Y, Z to help this, that, and the other. Like, we're on the same team. Like, I don't want to take it from you. Or even a reassurance of sitting down with her, Nynaeve, and him and be like, look, Matt, we want to learn about it to see if we could somehow do good with it. And we give you our word, we won't tell anybody. And if Nynaeve's there reassuring, like maybe he believes it. There's so many other ways they could have gone about this. But she does the shittiest way when he refuses, which he had every right to do. Then she goes trying to undermine him in front of all of his people. And I don't know. I don't like any of it.
No.
Yeah. But I do like that. Not that I like the actual situation. I like the conversation where she's like, "You have a Tarangrel." It's like a tear what? I don't know.
Don't try to play me. Remember you talking to Rand the Tear. He's like, shucks, she got me.
No, he's like, I don't pay attention to half the shit they're talking about, which is probably also kind of true. He might not be playing dumb. How often has something very important been going on? And when we get the Matt perspective in his head, he's like, fuck this shit. Why am I here? I don't want nothing to do with this.
His ADHD kicks in hardcore.
Right. He's not always there when he's there. He's trying to be somewhere else. So that it's believable, I think.
Yeah. And then also Avienda and Brigitte are there. Matt believes that Brigitte's just a hunter of the horn. Also finds in this chapter that she's a warder, which he's kind of taken back by. Everyone is. Like,
I was about to say there are a lot of upset people about her being a female warder.
Yeah.
And the fact that she had Elaine had the audacity to take a warder on so early in her studies. But we see the dynamics, the power dynamics at play, because they don't question her, even though she's so young, because she's more powerful than they are.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not like close. Maybe we have to battle this out to see. It's obvious she's more powerful than them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this group, I think before she said, except for maybe Avienda when they were all in a room together. So her and Avienda are like by far the strongest. Well, and Nynaeve, I guess, when she can control it.
Yeah. Nynaeve doesn't count anymore.
Right. And this is also around the same time.
Been unblocked.
Yeah. And this is also around the same time. This is around the same time they get to that village outside of Ebou Dar.
He's a plumber. I'm doing that on purpose. I'm sorry. Let me stop being a jerk.
So this is when you start learning a little bit about Ebou Dar culture, because they get to that marriage knife or marriage dagger in there, and they start talking about how men and women both fight each other for the right to bed. other people and things like that, and the other party willingly allows the winner to do so. And then for the marriage part, all the women wear daggers, and if they don't are satisfied, they kill their husbands. It's part of their culture.
Performing under pressure. Let me tell you, that ain't easy.
Chanel has a knife at her side table. I wonder why. Now that I'm this far in the book, I'm like,
she got herself a marriage knife.
This is one of those moments when she was reading ahead of you and just started giggling, and you were like, "What, honey?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing."
You hear her just rustle
where's
around.
that
like,
dagger
clink,
you
clink.
had?
This is going on the nightstand now.
That's
Good
perfect.
times. Yeah. So yeah, they have Matt has a few of his guys go. Vinine and them scout ahead. On the fourth evening, the party stays at the Southern Hoop, another inn, and the entire time, the Aes Sedai just started to throw, channeling at Matt, and Matt feels the chill all the time and can't figure out where it's coming from until Nynaeve at one point he realizes it's her, like, and he stares at her and she immediately like runs away, like squeaks and runs away, like it's like, man. And then someone throws crap at him to see, like, oh well, and then she's just taking notes.
That
The Aes Sedai, she's taking notes, like, oh, that works. I can throw stuff at you at the back.
Now,
So
you raised this question before, Alan. Like, the power won't work directly on them, but can they do stuff like if they fireball them or something like that? And I think I said no when it came to certain things, like, because physics is physics.
Right.
If they're using the power to pick something up and propel it, well, that makes sense that it would hit him.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're doing something where like fire is,
the
like,
weaves can't touch them. Yeah, so the weaves can't touch them. So the fire would be directly from the weave. It's not unless they light something on fire and then toss it at them. But if it's
right,
if the
or
weave's
something's already on fire and they use,
if
like,
the fire
wind
is
or whatever
actually
and
part
earth to
of the
move it,
weave, then no, because
that's what I'm feeling. Yeah.
But yeah,
Me too. Completely agree.
But if you pick up a rock with air and throw it, then the rock's not part of the power. It's just
Right.
flying through
Physics
the
is
air.
physics.
Physics. It's still gonna hit you.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a rock.
Ball. There you go. So and Matt's just getting really upset about all this stuff too. He's just like, they need to stop.
For a good reason. He
yeah.
is literally getting picked on the whole time. That's not cool.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the moment for him to bust out who he is now and for them to go, oh shit. Like, I don't know. It would have been cool. Like, it would have made this travel scene a little cooler if he did some sparring with the warders one night. And, like, how many warders are there total that went on the trip?
How many?
There's a
red
few,
arms,
right?
Red arms or warders?
Warders.
Well, how many? I saw. There's a few, not a lot.
Let's say there's at least 3.
There's a dozen red arms. So, but I'm not sure how many warders.
Sure, but let's say one person spars with 3 warders and whoops their ass. Like, that could have helped give him a little more cred in the eyes. Well, actually, the Aes Sedai probably would have got more pompous and stuck up about it. Who do you think he is? Beating up.
Then they definitely would have had to find a way to defeat his.
That's true. Yeah, no, that would have backfired. I take that back.
Mm-hmm.
They would have felt obligated to need to defeat
how
him
long will it take Elaine to be able to make a new copy of that and to share it?
Interesting.
And will she be able to duplicate it to block male channelers?
Well, we don't know if it blocks male and female. He doesn't know.
Well,
and it depends on how it was created and who created it. I'm willing to bet there's got to be certain things that take both male and female channelers to create. There's probably some things that only male channelers can create.
Interesting.
So we have to know how this one was built in the first place.
Sure.
She might not have any sort of control over it.
Yeah. So, yeah, and as they keep marching along, the 5th day, they finally get to Ebou Dar. And the dice start tumbling in Matt's head when he sees the palace. And he comments on the dice, that it happens sometimes when he's gambling, but usually means some big decision or something's going to happen. Something's about to go down when he starts hearing the dice in his head. It's not the first time we've had this happen. I think I pointed out the first time it happened, but
yeah. Yep.
But yeah, it's happening again. And
he's certainly recognizing it now. Like,
yeah.
It's a thing.
I should go to meet with Queen Thailand, and he thinks about staying in the palace, but he's like, nah, I don't like Noah, man. It'd be nice, have a feather bed and all that, but nah, I'm good.
When he also wants to make a show of it once more, in front of his men and to Elaine, Asadai, and everything, that we're not here to work for you.
Right.
Like, we're going to do our thing. You let us know if you're going to travel around. I'll gather up an escort for you, sort of thing. But we're going to be over here doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Come talk to us if you need us, and I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, some of them decide to go. I mean, Tom and Julian, they both go to stay in the palace.
But do they count anymore? They're more puppy dogs.
They are. They've given their word and their oath, and they're going to do what they're told.
Yeah, they are. But
plus, I think they also feel like obligated from a moral standpoint, not just because of their oath, but I think they want to follow and help.
Yeah, and Matt starts thinking about trying to advise Elaine and Nynaeve, and he decides not to. I think because of the sheer fact, like anything I say, they're just going to throw around, turn back at me. I refuse to say anything I do, or then turn around and say, "Hey, I have this great idea. You just said it's my idea, not yours." And he's like, "You know what? I'm just not going to break it up. Just screw them."
I guess that's my. That's part of my issue here. They aren't even. They don't even recognize that Matt could possibly be an asset.
Yeah.
They're just trying to use him from their perspective in the only ways they understand. And right now it's just getting to understand that Terangrial. And other than that, it's, well, let's get his men more loyal to me than to him and win them over. Like, if they took the time to actually get to know Matt and what happened to him from the last time they saw him until now, they would realize, all right, huge asset. This is somebody I need to partner with and communicate with, not try to manipulate and take advantage of.
Right.
So shame on them.
Agreed.
Shame.
By the way, House of Dragons, completely crazy.
I love House of Dragons. It's such a good show.
I still haven't even started watching.
Oh,
go check it out. Go check it out. It's good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was tough. It's tough.
It was.
But they just said 2023. They're gonna try to do it within a year.
Oh,
next season. So Tom and Julian go leave. Matt and the rest of the Red Arms go into this inn at random they pick called the Wandering Woman, and this is Matt's scene. I mean, he walks in, he's like, "Yeah, this is it.
This is my vibe.
This is it." There's people playing dice. There's people playing cards.
And titties.
Girls in there. Nice little layout pipe smoke. Flutes playing. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is."
He's like, "You come sit, admin style."
And he comes in and the dice stops, and that's how we end this chapter.
Which I'm like, why do they stop? Is it because he's in a great spot? Is
because the decision's been? He's made a decision.
Decision's been made.
So we don't know how the dice were rolled. It might be a good roll, it might be a bad roll, but the die has been cast.
The die has been cast. He made his decision, and the dice stopped. So that's how we end this chapter. It's a pretty short one, but mostly it's just Matt being picked on by Aes Sedai and by Nynaeve and Elaine, and
mostly Elaine,
and mostly Elaine, and being frustrated, and finally, and they get to Ebou Dar. That's important.
Yeah,
ish, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
Kind of a
when
frustrating
they find
chapter
that
for me.
big bowl that they use to create the smoke and
yeah.
Great big bowl full of water and smoke.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't want Elaine or Nynaeve to get hurt, but I am kind of cheering for something significant to happen to them to humble them a little bit.
Okay.
And it'd be wonderful if in some capacity Matt ends up being a hero, and hopefully they open their eyes and be like, oh shit, this is not the Matt that I thought I was dealing with. This is something more.
You don't think Jordan's going to use Matt as a literary punching bag for the next 2 books?
He could. There's like 6 books left.
He could, but I hope not.
Sure.
I see him using Perrin.
This is Perrin as a punching bag. Yeah. He's all the characters as punching bags, let's be honest.
Yeah. Matt seems to rise to whatever occasion or whatever attitude or whatever level you bring to him. If you're being polite, he could be polite to you. If you want to collaborate on something, he'll collaborate with you. If you want to be an asshole, he's very skilled at being an asshole. So he seems to be more of a reflection of the person he's dealing with. And so generally, I get the feeling if you don't like Matt, you should look in the mirror. If the Matt you're dealing with is pissing you off, you should look in the mirror.
Yeah. Well, that kind of leads into these next chapters. But anything from these before I do what's next time?
No.
Okay. So next time we're doing 2 chapters again, 48 and 49, and the titles are "Leaning on the Knife"
Leaning,
and "The Mirror
safe
of
and
Mists."
secure from all alarms. The
Ooh.
mirror of mist. Why not
Mists.
the bowl of mist? Can't we find this bowl before the end of the book?
Elaine's
How
gonna
many
get
books
it.
are there?
Elaine's gonna ask the mirror
That
who's
plot
the
line has
fairest
just
of them all.
begun.
Can't we return water and rain back to this region? Can't we allow
That plot line
crops
has
to
just
grow?
begun. So, anyways, yeah. So that's those are the next 2 chapters. So, any thoughts on chapter titles?
I'm giving you my thoughts. It's
L-
bullshit.
Leaning on the Knife.
What if this weather thing that they're trying to get is like one of those stasis boxes? It actually has like some cool shit in it from way back in the day.
That would be cool. So leaning on the knife. So clearly there's gonna be a wife of somebody that they're gonna have to make use of.
Hmm.
Since we know the knives are marriage ceremonial things.
Okay.
Oh, does Matt find his +1? I mean, it's supposed to be
That would be
Sean Chan +1, right? But who knows? Maybe one's here.
You really don't know. You could be right. The other thing is what was the second title about the mist and the bowl?
Mirrors of Mist, Mirror of Mist,
Mirrors.
Misty Mirror.
Huh. Interesting.
But about bum bum. Dun, 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 dun.
Super Bowl of yeah.
I do think that we at least discover whatever it was that they were trying to get for Rand.
Okay.
Now, so its use, who the heck knows?
Okay.
But the book is too short at this point for them not to find it quickly.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
And they'll probably end up finding it in the dream world. And then having to then go and rediscover it in the real world.
Okay. Interesting.
Perchance.
So, favorite characters?
Loyal.
Not Elaine.
I was going to say Elaine for mine. That's going to be my pick. That's going to be Elaine.
And I'm gonna hang up on you. I'm gonna leave the studio
just for poking Ian's button, pushing Ian's buttons.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't thought about it enough to look at it, objectively. Like, all right, why does that upset me so much? I'm sure there's some of my own past experience that adds to that emotion, but not a fan of it at all. She totally disgusted me there.
Okay.
So, and not really Matt either. I think he could have, instead of giving up on
say Perrin, it's okay.
He could have tried better. No. I liked how all that unfolded with Perrin and Faile and Bashir and everything, but I think my favorite might be Tom and Julian kind of as a combo. And I hinted at it before. I don't think they're just behind these ladies because they gave their word. That's kind of a little too, that makes it about themselves still. Like they're doing it to uphold their word. I think, especially taking what Tom was telling Matt before, he's really starting to buy into his role here. And he feels like his biggest role is supporting and helping the girls and doing whatever they do. And without question, and just being there for them. And I could appreciate that. There's a time and a place for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Chris?
Perrin.
Nice.
Perrin. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Yep. Actually, I got to give it to Bashir, though. He held it together very well. If I was a father in that situation, I don't know that I could have held it together as well as he did. I don't think I would be able to feel pride because I'd still be hurt. So I got to give it to, and not just him, but his wife as well, the parents.
Okay.
They played their role really well.
They did.
They in order to give their blessing per se, they needed to find some certain things out. They need to hear certain things and believe it from both Faile and Perrin. And they both played their parts very well. And I think they heard maybe not what they wanted to hear, but what they needed to hear to be able to move forward with this. And
okay. Interesting.
Pretty good.
Have a nice little litter.
Yeah.
Yep. Go make some pups.
Yep.
Oh, good pick, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mine's Loose Theron, just for yelling, screaming, and Rand's head.
I can handle that.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's all we got for this week. So how you can be found?
He's in the background. I'm not dead yet.
I'm not telling you.
Yes, you are.
Shut up.
I'm
shut
getting
up.
better. I'm getting better.
That's the crazy thing. You're right. He is getting better. He's sticking around long. He doesn't have to listen to what Rand says as much. Like, it's
Yep.
getting to the point of scary.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think will happen if like something traumatic happens? Do you think that will affect it? Like,
Oh, I think we're
I
gonna
think
get to
he's
a
in-
part where Luz fully takes over, and Rand's gonna spend some time wherever it is that Luz is.
I think
Yeah.
Luz is going to be reborn as one of Rand's children.
oh, interesting.
That's possible.
I'm
Okay.
kidding. It's not going to really happen. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the energy could make its way to the nether regions and then
Yeah.
Okay.
be reborn.
Okay. The dragon reborn. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So, yeah. Well, how you can be found is at thewheelreads.com. Go check out the website. You can write reviews there, even bad ones. I do read them too. So apparently, if we're too crude, go ahead and tell me. I'm not going to stop, but you can tell me.
I toned it back a little bit tonight.
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
think we've all toned it back quite a bit.
Yeah. So,
I've
We
had
had
some-
no
I have had some
gigglities.
night.
We've had no.
No giggity. I gotta bag it up.
oh yeah, no, that's what she says.
None of that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's-
Yeah, we
There was a
just-
lot of seriousness happening in these chapters.
there
though.
was,
So that's yeah.
there was. It'll be
Don't
back.
worry, it'll be double fold next week. Guys.
Yeah, right.
Next week, definitely.
Plus, I'm sober, so
well, next week you're not going to be the Virax. We finally get non-military Ian back after
I'm
years.
back.
It's been 7 years. All right. So, yeah, go check out the website, write reviews, check out our Discord. It's a great place to hang out. I've been loving recently some of these new first-time readers that are getting towards the end of all the books. So you guys can't read those yet, but they have been fantastic posts. I'd love reading all of it. You'll get there eventually. And then just in general, I love all the memes channels. We share a lot of memes. It's fun. Go check out our socials. Check out Twitter Time Awards this weekend. If you're listening to this next week when it comes on the podcast format, it already happened. But guess what? It'll still be on YouTube, so you can still go back and check out the Twitter Time Awards. It's going to be a ton of fun. And also support us. Lots of ways of doing that. Just by listening to us supports us. But then as well, there's Patreon, there's merchandise, lots of cool stuff you can buy. Get the Wheel Reads gear. But Patreon is definitely the best way to support us as far as dollars to help run this show. It's not free, unfortunately. It used to be when we used to have cell phones and stuff like that. But then I bought like editing software and subscriptions to things. So we're
trying to be better.
I'm trying to make it professional. I'm trying to make it better. So, constantly upgrading stuff, adding new stuff. So, most of it goes to giveaways, I'll be honest. But hey,
Because we love you.
It's because we love you. Most of it just goes to giveaways. But yeah, we'll get there. So go check that out. If you feel so inclined, greatly appreciated. But otherwise, that's all I got for this week.
Until next time.
Peace.
Okay, bye.